Good evening, everyone. If this is your first time here, welcome. Let me introduce myself. I spent more than 25 years working in major crimes. Homicides, disappearances, and investigations that tug at you long after they're over. That wasn't just a job. It became my life. Some cases fade with time. Others don't. And tonight, I want to tell you about one that stayed with me. Not just because of what happened, but because of how it unfolded, and how it changed everything. Everything you will hear is based on real investigative records and public court proceedings. Names and some small details have been adjusted for privacy. This is a true story. Let's begin. In December 24th, 2002. It was Christmas Eve. Most people were wrapping gifts, cooking dinner, thinking about the holiday. But among them was a young woman, 8 months pregnant, preparing her home, and dreaming of the future. She had left the house that morning like any other day. She spoke to her husband. She talked about baby names. She told her father she would see him soon. And that was the last time anyone heard from her. By the evening, when she didn't return, when calls went unanswered, a missing person report was filed. When we first arrived at the home, there was no sign of distress, no forced entry, no overturned furniture, no obvious evidence of struggle, just silence where a family should have been preparing for Christmas together. That's when reality began sinking in. Adults don't vanish like that, not without a trace, not without reason. We pulled security footage. We interviewed neighbors. We checked phone records. Every lead seemed to bring more questions than answers. A husband claimed he had taken the family dog for a walk that morning, but he didn't see her again. He said he came back alone. No witnesses backed up his story. No camera footage showed him and her together after that morning. And yet, something about the timeline didn't add up. As hours turned into days, and days into weeks, pressure mounted. The public attention was massive. News reports, talk shows, national headlines. People were watching. People cared. But in major crimes, attention doesn't solve a case. Evidence does. Then came the break. It wasn't dramatic, not at first. It was small and quiet. 2 sets of remains, one of a woman, and one of a baby, found along the shoreline of a bay, miles away. The location was remote. The tide had carried them, but it was her. Confirmed. And the baby she was carrying. They had been gone for weeks, lying in the cold water, till the tide revealed the truth. The investigation quickly turned toward a person of interest. Her husband. Every inconsistency, every unanswered question, every gap in his story. It all started pointing in one direction, and soon he was arrested, charged with first-degree murder of his wife, and second-degree murder of their unborn child. At trial, the prosecution presented evidence, focusing on motive, opportunity, and conflicting statements. They argued it wasn't an accident, not a sudden disappearance, but a cold, calculated act of violence. In 2004, he was convicted on both counts. Justice, in the legal sense, was served. But the pain, the unanswered why, the memory of a young life lost, that lingers. Her father, her family, they never stopped asking questions. They never stopped seeking closure. And the nation watched, debating, wondering how something like this could happen in a quiet suburb, on a day when millions were celebrating. It's one thing to read a report. It's another to live it, to look at a quiet home, the empty nursery, the silence where laughter should have been, and realize that some tragedies don't announce themselves. They unfold slowly, quietly, until one day you're left with pieces, and the rest is silence. Thank you for sitting with me tonight. These are the cases I never forgot. And see you in the next video.